Hi, in this video I'll show you how to clone Juce and set up a basic project. First, browse to this website here, click on this button and copy the URL to the online repository. In source tree, click new, clone from URL, paste here, and then find a location on your machine where you would like to clone Juce. That'll take a few moments, so while we are waiting, go to your GitLab page and create a new project. And then take a clone of that project in exactly the same way as we've done in previous weeks. I'm going to put this in the same location as the Juce project. And then once this is cloned, we get a source tree window for my empty project. And then now that Juce is cloned, we should get a similar window for Juce. We don't need to do anything here, so we can just close this. But in the future, if we want to pull any updates for Juce, we can do it there. Okay, so let's have a look. Here's the Juce repository that we've cloned. Under Extras, go to the producer, and then there's a load of projects you can open here. I'm in Xcode, so I'm going to open this one, the producer. But if you are running Windows, you can go to Visual Studio 2019 and open the solution file here. Set the producer building. This will take a few moments as well. The producer is an application that's packaged with Juce, and it allows you to set up Juce projects really easily for a range of different platforms, including OS X, Windows, and Linux. So it has things called exporters, and you can have an exporter for lots of different IDEs across multiple platforms, and then you can configure your project and all of its source files in the producer, and then it will generate these exporters for all of these different IDEs and operating systems. We're nearly there with the build now. Some of the files towards the end take a bit longer because they're a bit larger. And when it's built and linked, it will launch the producer, and this will open into a page where you can configure a new project. Okay, so we want a basic GUI project here. We're going to give the project a name. If you want to add any other Juce modules, you would do that here. And here are the exporters that you can also create. I'm happy with Xcode, but if we wanted to create a Visual Studio one, we would just tick that box there. And then we're going to create the project into the repository, the empty repository that we just created. Now there's one setting that we need to set, and that's this add using namespace Juce to our Juce header. So I'm going to enable that, and then I'm going to open my Xcode project. So this generates the Xcode project, and it also opens it. So if we go to source tree, there'll be a whole load of stuff here that we would like to ignore. If we have a look, it's in this folder here. There's a lot of stuff under the build folder and the Juce library code folders that we would like to ignore. So I'm going to ignore both of these folders. So if I find a file that's in the build folder, right click and select ignore, and then ignore everything beneath builds. And I want to make sure that it's for this repository only, and click OK. That'll create a git ignore file. I'm going to do the same for a file in the Juce library code folder. And then we're left with only the files that we need, which are my source files, the producer file, which can generate all of the files that we've ignored, and our git ignore file. So back in Xcode, this is our bare bones Juce project. I'm just going to check that it works. So if I select to build and run, the project will be built, and then we should see just a bare hello world window. There we go. So now that I'm happy this works, I'm going to stage and commit these files. and then push to my remote repository. And there we go.